On today's episode of Time About the Movies, 2011 is a bad year for films. Case in point, another bad weekend of movies. We have the sequel to one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. And then we have a movie that is very high up on my list of the worst movies of all time, in my opinion. Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch, which basically means that life's gonna suck once again. But then again, that's what the year has been so far. 2011 has been nothing but one bad week of movies after another. We get those weekends when they're not all bad, but then you get a weekend like this. So, let's get it over with.
I need a moment for a family meeting. Things between you two have really gotten out of hand. You need to get to know each other.
What?
You need to spend more time together.
What?
For every hour without fighting, you earn mom bucks, which you can trade in for $1 real.
This thing is a gold mine. You better not ruin it for me.
On March 25th.
What are you doing in here?
Mom said you'd pay mom bucks if I drove you home.
We'd rather walk.
Get in.
You two will stay here together and work out your differences.
Yes.
And don't have anybody over this weekend. Party at my place.
20th Century Fox presents Greg,
We have an opportunity to see things that no other kid has ever seen before.
Rowley,
This is what happens when we go to sleep. I'm never going to sleep ever again.
Fregley,
I'll save that for later.
Holly,
She's an all-star soccer player, has done professional modeling, and was her 6th grade class president. What? I Googled her.
Patty,
Don't make me beat you up again.
Sherrod,
And I'm single.
Manny,
I'm only free.
and
You should
Rodrick.
hear my band.
I think your brother likes her.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules.
Listen to Holly.
And welcome to Time About the Movies. We are taking a look at the two films of March 25th, 2011. It's another one of those weekends, and case in point with our first movie, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. This is, of course, the second installment of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, following the first film, which, as I said before, is up there with one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. To the point where I've never watched any of the sequels. So this is my first exposure to the sequels. And we have the first one here, the first sequel of them, which follows a relationship between, once again, 7th grader Greg Heffley, played again by Zachary Gordon, and his titular older brother Rodrick, played by Devin Bostic. We also have characters from the previous movie, including Greg's best friend Rowley, played by Robert Capron, Rachel Harris and Steve Zahn as the parents, and also Peyton List, who's later gone on to have a successful career on the CW, and was also in, what else was she in? She was in shows on the Disney Channel, Jessie, Bunked. Maybe she wasn't on the CW, but she was on Jessie and Bunked. She's become more well-known for those movies in particular, but she's done other things like Cobra Kai, Hubie Halloween, The Inheritance, so she's been in a lot of stuff since then. So, kind of like with how Chloe Grace Moretz was in the first one, here's another rising actress in a movie that will probably be forgotten as soon as she actually makes some good movies after this. Everyone will be better off after they stop making these movies, because this one, I'll say this, it's not as bad as the last movie. It isn't as insultingly bad as the last movie. But it still isn't a good movie. It's a passable movie. For the fan base who loves these books, I think they'll get a kick out of it. I mean, it's not as terrible and as insulting as the first film is. You can tell the effort is being put in here this time around, because they actually have a decent director in David Bowers, whose previous works had included Flushed Away, and he also did Astro Boy, two very good movies in my opinion, and he would go on to continue directing the movies that would follow after this, so maybe there's a chance that these films could get better, but I'm not really putting my money on that in general. I would still say watch the animated movies more before you watch the live action films, but that's just my humble opinion on this. I mean, I like the books. I don't think the books overall work. I like the books for their design works with like these character designs, with the like simplistic notebook paper elements. I like that they adapted that into the animated movies that went on Disney Plus. But as far as the live action films go, this one isn't as bad as the other one, but it still isn't a great movie overall. It's a movie that's clearly made for the target audience of the kids who love the books. I know people who love these books and will enjoy these movies no matter what. And this is one where I would say, yeah, I can't really blame you on that one. I mean, honestly, me saying that this is a terrible movie is like me saying Paw Patrol is a terrible movie, or even that Gabby's Dollhouse movie coming up is a terrible movie. It's clearly made for a target audience, and for the target audience, they're going to love it no matter what. So what am I supposed to say to that? Just in my personal opinion, though, better than the last one, but still not enough for me to recommend it overall. But, hey, I will gladly take it over the other movie that came out this weekend, and boy, I would rather watch Rodrick Rules again before I even think about turning on Sucker Punch one more time.
You're afraid. Don't be. You don't think you're strong enough? You are. To reach your own paradise. Just let go. Your fight for survival starts right now.
I'm gonna escape from here. But I'm gonna be free.
Sucker Punch. Experience it in IMAX.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached one of my top 3 worst movies that I have ever seen in my entire life. I've already done a full-on video talking about how much I fucking hate this movie. And it makes sense that Zack Snyder, after making what I think is arguably his best movie as a filmmaker, Legend of the Guardians, which was an animated movie, by the way, follows it up with his worst movie. And honestly, the title Sucker Punch couldn't have been more accurate, because this sucks, and it feels like a punch in the gut when you watch it, because, yeah, it's about as bad as you get. So I'll try to sum this up, since I've already delved into this in greater detail in past videos, but this is Snyder's first movie based on an original concept in which Emily Browning stars as a young woman who's committed to a mental institution, and in order to cope, she envisions the asylum as a brothel and teams up with 4 dancers/prisoners to escape before she gets a lobotomy. As she collects the items she needs to escape, she enters another level of fantasy in which the women become strong, experienced warriors. Each fantasy is a parallel to the events in the brothel. Abby Cornish, Jenna Malone, Vanessa Hudgens, and Jamie Chung portray the other 4 prisoners, imagined as dancers by Baby Doll. Carla Gugino plays Dr. Vera Gorsuch, a psychiatrist who, in Baby Doll's mind, is known as Madame Gorski, a choreographer at the strip club. Oscar Isaac plays Blue Jones, the asylum's orderly, which is in Baby Doll's mind, is the corrupt owner of the brothel. So let's quickly sum this up, because I have talked about this many, many times before. Everything about this movie is awful. Every single thing. The music is bad. The terrible emo covers. The score is awful. It literally feels like a score straight out of a CW series. I am not even kidding. The visuals are terrible. So much is going on. And you just cannot see what is going on in these movies. Like, Michael Bay would even tell Zack Snyder, tone it down on the visuals, dude. And Michael Bay's Transformers movies later on were known for over-cluttering special effects. But even he would look at this and go like, dude, tone this shit down already. And the big one, Zac Efron. I've got Vanessa Hudgens on my mind because they were together at that point, but like, Zack Snyder has this huge fetish for girls in bondage, and it shows. There are so many shots in this movie with these girls in skimpy bondage spandex clothes with their boobs hanging out, and this is literally Zack Snyder jacking off for an hour and a half to stuff that he did when he was a teenager, a horny teenager. Like, unless these girls start making out, there's nothing you can do to make me like this movie. Nothing at all. And the biggest problem with the film overall, the message, and the fact that they have to show everybody in this movie as a stereotype. Men and this woman are either douchebags, perverts, pedophiles, guys who start incest, stupid. The women in this movie, They're helpless, they don't do shit whatsoever, they act like abused housewives, and the only way they can get through this is by pretending they're not getting horribly raped and beaten, but pretend that they're fighting a gigantic robot monster because it'll make them strong, because this is the way we need to show female empowerment and strong lead female characters, and fuck off with that shit. This movie is everything that is wrong with films like this. Like, this movie is such a joke. It's such an insult to everything that is when it comes to writing good characters and writing characters that you either hate or want to get behind. You do not like anybody in this movie for any particular reason. Like, it's weird, because when I watched this for the first time, the first thought was, because I was watching the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and that's an animated show made specifically for little girls. And that show had better written characters than this movie did. A show about 6 ponies was better than a big budget blockbuster by the director of Watchmen and 300. Just think about that for a second. Really think about what I just said. That is pretty pathetic. And the worst part about it is that Warner Brothers basically gave him Superman for this particular reason. Not because he had never seen Superman before or wanted to make Superman Batman so much, but let's be honest. They gave it to him because they were in desperation mode, because they had to get a Superman movie in production by this year, 2011, or they were going to lose the rights. That's been well documented out in the world of the internet. That's been well out there for years now, so nobody better come out there and tell me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. No, that's exactly what happened. And this is the result of that. This is the result of that. Warner Brothers looked at this movie and said, this movie speaks to us. This should be the guy that should bring Superman back for a new generation. And look at what we got after that. Just think about what we got from that because of this pile of garbage. I've talked in depth about this in the video that I'll put up in the corner, but if you want to go read my full thoughts on that, it's right there. But this is a terrible movie. It killed Zack Snyder for me. Like, it was the movie that basically said, okay, this guy has completely lost his mind. And again, it's funny how his best movie was the Owl movie, and that was the last thing he did 6 months before this. And now he starts off this horrible trend of movies that begins with Sucker Punch. It's unbelievably bad. It is ungodly awful. Avoid this one like the plague. Like, seriously, this is one of those ones where I would say, avoid this one like the plague. Avoid it like it's a zombie and it's coming to attack you. Chop off the head and never think about it ever again, or don't even see it at all. Like, what was that horror movie? That terrible horror movie, The Bye Bye Man. Don't say it. Don't think it. Don't even watch it. Like, you get the idea. Sucker Punch is a piece of shit. Well, at least March was slightly better, I guess. I mean, it still wasn't great, and it still shows that 2011 is still not a good year for movies. But, hey, we've got a brand new month to begin with on the next episode. We'll take a look at these 4 films tomorrow, including Universal's follow-up to Despicable Me from the same people who made that movie, Illumination, the live-action animated hybrid Hop with Russell Brand starring as the Easter Bunny, and what was supposed to be essentially the Easter equivalent of the Santa Claus. Did they succeed? We'll talk about it, because it's kind of interesting how I feel about this one. But then we do get some really good movies, including another great underrated movie that came out this year, which is one of the best movies of the year, Jake Gyllenhaal in Source Code. We also have Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne starring in the first Insidious film. And then we have James Gunn, nearly 3 years before he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and 14 years before he took on Superman, his first superhero movie, and that is Super, with Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page among its cast, along with Kevin Bacon. So we'll take a look at those 4 movies, and yeah, already seeming like we're on a better track than we were this week, because yeah, this week was another one of those rough weeks, and again, we've got plenty more of them to come, so stay tuned. But if you did enjoy this and you want to find more about this channel and want to see more videos, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about there, but if you do like this and want to see more videos, how about that? Please go ahead, hit that like button right there, hit that subscribe button where the Spill Crew are at, and also hit that notification button so you get updates on when new videos come out. And also don't forget to check out our playlist, and also don't forget to check out the last episode we did. So with that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.